Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I can confirm one thing, though. The Earth is not flat.
For posterity.
It is round.
It is in fact.
Prabhupada said that. It actually says, I can't think of the Sanskrit now, but in the Vedic scriptures, it describes the planets and the Earth as spherical, as round. Very clear. So anyone, and there are not many of these people, again, it's one of these situations, I'm sorry, but this is just as an aside. You'll find one or two individuals who will claim, oh, yes, I'm a Vedic such and such. And no, in the scriptures it says the earth is flat. No, these people don't know Sanskrit. I've studied Sanskrit all my life. No. Nowhere does it say that the earth is flat, planets are flat. No, the actual Sanskrit terminology is spherical, specifically round. So, yeah, this flat earth thing is psyop.
Yeah. I remember
in order to distract people.
I remembered the other question. I've asked something like this before, but I feel like this is more pointed into the essence of what I was trying to get at. Based off of what Arjuna said, is the human position of Manusya, but also on the level of how would you call it, the middle plane where you have access to spirituality? So not a Manusya who has just a high demonic plane of opulence, but also that access to spirituality too. It's said constantly in the scriptures that that's the highest position in terms of rapid spiritual progress. Is it also the most dangerous position for the Atman in that middle ground where they may be coming down for the first time, or they may be coming up after a long hiatus in the lower realms? Is that also the most dangerous position for them, just generally speaking?
Yeah, so if they're coming down from, let's say, a more elevated position, or if they're coming up from less elevated.
Yeah, so position. Just in general, am I understanding it correct that it's, even though the scriptures say it is the most fortunate of positions, but it's also the most dangerous?
Is it also the most dangerous?
Yeah.
It depends exclusively on the yuga. So if a person comes here during the Satya Yuga, if you are coming as a god previously, in previous life, or if you're coming from a demonic realm and you have elevated yourself, if you're in the Satya Yuga, for example, no, there's nothing dangerous. It's good. In the Kali Yuga, you could say that. The reason why is because from the perspective of a god, that's easier to understand. If you're coming down, even within the context of the Kali Yuga, it's still not very dangerous. It could be, but not very dangerous, because coming down from the position of a god, the tremendous psychological juxtaposition that you find here in the Kali Yuga is so stark to the point where you understand it's a realm of suffering, so that spurs you on to be spiritual. However, now the opposite. In the Kali Yuga, let's say in your previous life, you lived in a demonic realm, one of the Patala regions, and now you're human. That can be very dangerous, because we're living in an era where the demonic is celebrated just as much as the divine. And you can easily and very happily become one of these demonic billionaires that I was alluding to. So in other words, these demonic, let me be blunt, we're not recording, right? No, that's okay. Someone like George, good possibility he was a demonic being living in one of the Patala hellish regions before. And now he's here and he's happy. Which is dangerous.
Yeah.
Which is bad for him. Which is a bad thing, actually, because what does this mean? Oh, he's just doing nothing, but not only did he have the bad karma from previously, he's creating more bad karma now as George. Can you imagine the bad karma that this creature is creating? So yeah, very dangerous, very bad. So less dangerous for a deva, much more dangerous for an asura, because they come here and they think, oh yes, I'm pretty comfortable here. Yeah, there's some nice things too. I'll get rid of that. But the bad things, oh yes, I feel at home. That's bad for them. because now they're digging their hole even deeper. They're digging their grave even deeper. They're digging their grave, they're hurling themselves in it and pouring concrete on top of them, themselves.
One quick follow-up, and then I guess I should have mentioned this too. Is there like I assume that like the vast majority of Atmans on this plane actually came from quite close, probably slightly below, and is it also the most dangerous position for them because they came from below, but also that they're in the Kali Yuga?
Yeah, it's true. The vast majority of beings who, let's say they are born human, technically anything can happen. But as far as probability, you don't go from a Brahma to, the guy doing your fries at McDonald's. That's not very likely. Or one of these cosmic demonic beings to, then the guy, working at Burger King, flipping your fries. That's not likely. Rather, you came from some place somewhat similar. This is why, indeed, it's explained that there are even certain animals where those animals, it's pretty much guaranteed that they're going to be human in their next life because they're pretty close already. So cats, dogs, horses, cows, this is why we relate to them so well. We don't relate to spiders. Oh, here's my pet. Some people do. That's kind of odd. Oh, here's my pet, cockroach. Yeah. No, the reason why we get along with these beings so much, and universally in so many countries, they're as close to humans pretty much as animals can be. Some monkeys as well. Not all monkeys, interestingly. Not all. But some simian species as well. So that's the case. Well, I forget, was there a follow-up?
No, that was it. So it is correct that the 90+% of people likely came from somewhere very, very close and probably below, just slightly below. Yeah.
And more, to follow up on that, when it is the case that they started off very high or very low, and then they're human, that's going to be a very powerful person, for bad or for good. For bad or for good. So if it is someone who did start off kind of as a deva, or as a deva, and now they're human, that's going to be a very extraordinary person. That's a person who's going to be a great leader. That's someone who's going to do something massive in this world. That's someone who you encounter them and you understand. Well, you don't understand why, but you do understand, whoa, this is someone who's very different. This is someone who I want to follow. What is it about this person? They have quote-unquote charisma. And then vice versa. Again, a George, probably a big fat demon who reincarnated, was very powerful. And, he didn't just come to Earth. He must have been so powerful to the point where he comes to Earth and he finds himself a billionaire now. A very well-connected billionaire. So yes, when there is a great disparity and the person then reincarnates as human, that's going to be a special person, for good or bad.
Condition of experience.
Yeah.
So putting that all together into what you've said before, does that more or less describe the phenomena of the 96% of people are normal, capable of both good and bad, but then the 2% of the extremes are generally people that have come from externals?
Exactly. There's reason for everything. Like even the New Age people like to say there are no coincidences, which is true. It's true. Yeah, there's a reason why you see that. The majority of people are just people. That's all. They're people. They can be kind of good, kind of lousy, but they're in between. But then on the furthest extremes, you find that tiny percentage of people who they cannot but do good. It's just not in them to do anything bad. And then you find the opposite. Again, the sociopaths, the truly evil people. But they're a tiny minority. Those are individuals who, when they reincarnated, they did the extremes. They were an extreme, and now they're human. They were either a god of some sort, some strata, now they're human, so they're very good, or they were a truly demonic person, but really powerful, really evil. Oh, they find themselves human. They're what we would call a psychopath, sociopath, etc.
If you'll permit me one last follow-up question. You've spoken a little bit about, in this case, about how the demonic people receive this position. It typically sounds like such a person, it won't be by chance, they'll have actually done demonic yoga of some sort so that they can actually take that position as a billionaire in this realm. They're not showing up as a trailer park person.
Mhm.
And then conversely, is it the correct understanding that it's the same for the devas, that they've done specific yogas and specific rituals, or were given a task, generally speaking, to take this position? Or is it a mixed bag where they also just come down via lack of punya or karma being exhausted?
For the devas, interestingly, it's a little bit more diverse than it is for the asuras. For the devas, yes, it could have been any of the above. It could have even been mere will, mere true choice. When I say choice, I don't even mean literally that consciously to be human now, but it could be that, again, this something human, something Manusha-like was on the forefront of their mind as they left their body, etc. It could be that they are here on a specific task. It could be that coming here on a specific task, they did austerities, they did sadhanas previous. But again, it could have been any of these things. With the truly powerful asura, most likely they did do asuric sadhanas. And not only to come here, but previous to their life in the last life. Because if they were that powerful as an evil being even in their last life, how does that come about? That came about because previous to even that, they did demonic sadhanas. And again, we're very blunt about this, and it's amazing how no one talks about this. Evil people, they simply take what is there that is good and they invert it. So they have their own quote-unquote yoga. They have their own religion. They have their own practices that they do. We know this, but they're evil. They're demonic. They copy. They even have their own, interestingly, let's say, principles that they try not to violate. So in the same way that good people have ethics, they have their own principles. But they're more like occultish principles that they try not to violate. But they do that just to serve themselves. They know, if they violate this, it'll take away some of their power. They don't do it to be good. So yes, there are some demonic beings who, black magic, left-hand path, Satanism, there are demonic practices that a person can do to, in an evil way, become very powerful. Most of them without a mission, in most cases, unlike with the gods, in most cases when they do a demonic sadhana, it is for personal reason, because what motivates them? Personal power. With the devas, on the other hand, it will be the opposite. They will come to earth with a mission, and it will be for good, not just for themselves at all. It will be to do good.
Thank you very much, Acharyaji.
My pleasure.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,